Hey there folks, and welcome back for another shaving video. I'm your host CDB. You are not, and today we're going to use Soap Commander Vision, which is, as you can see here on the label, aqua, amber, and mint. That's one of the things I like about Soap Commander. They make it very simple to get the scent notes right on the label. Wonderful, wonderful smelling soap. It is hard, and it probably gets a little harder perhaps over time, but generally it's on a firm side in terms of soaps. There you have a look at it, and of course I've scraped some out. Wonderful soap, wonderful, wonderful people. We will, of course, be using that. Also, I wanted to just show you if you've ever been interested in learning to make soap. The Cyberts from Soap Commander, Carrie in particular, put out this short book. It's not long, and it basically tells you, how soap is made. So if you're curious about the process, here it is. And there's Carrie, who's a very, very lovely woman. Just a great family overall. And also today we're going to use a vintage Gillette razor. This one is of the open comb variety. I'm not sure of the vintage on this one. I'd have to look it up. But it is a little different than a lot of them you'll find because the handle, the bottom part of the handle comes out like that and it slips up. And we'll put our Astra blade in like so. Hold that down and we're ready for business. Again, I don't recall the vintage on this. This was sent to me by Dawn the Navy Goat. Thank you, Dawn. And there's what it looks like when you have it assembled. So we'll use that today. So let me go ahead and wet the face and let's get going. Stay tuned. All right, and here we go with our Soap Commander Vision, which smells very nice. I think it's reminiscent, excuse me, I'm tongue twisted this morning. Well, that's not anything unusual for me, but I think there's a cologne called either Cold or Cool Water. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. It's reminiscent of that. It's not an exact copy or anything like that. This was the first soap that I tried from Soap Commander. At the time, they were calling it the Blue Pill because it was the color blue. And it was before they ever started selling soaps. I got a sample and I was like, hey, that's pretty doggone good. And then before they were about ready to come out with it, it wasn't going to be blue, but those of us who tested it were sentimental about that blue soap, so they kept it blue. And today it's called Vision. So if you like aqua and a little mint, you may very well like that. As you can see, no problems creating a nice lather. And one thing I can tell you for absolute certain, when you buy from Soap Commander, you can buy with confidence. They're wonderful people who just focus on their craft and really primarily their family. They are all about family, and what could be better than that? Very few people will have anything bad to say about Soap Commander. And I certainly won't because I do like them personally, and I like the products as well. I don't use them as often as I should, quite frankly, and I'm not sure why, because they are very good. I'll show you a balm today too. I don't use a lot of balms. In fact, I use, when I need a balm, Soap Commander almost exclusively because they're not oily, and I like that. So they make a wonderful balm. Soap Commander was originally called, I think it was Simply 7 Products. They made like balms and various things, and I think they did engravings too locally there in Alabama. But when they got into full-time soap making, I think they got out of the engraving business and dove into this soap making full-time. And again, wonderful people. Can't say enough good things about Soap Commander. I'll talk a little bit more about them as this shave goes. And that was an excellent first pass. This is a really nice vintage razor. If you can find one, which is difficult to find one like this, but if you can find one, it is a really nice shaver, that I can tell you. Let me rinse the face. We'll be right back. All right, here we go. Pass number 2, and pass number 1 was very, very nice, as expected. By the way, Sterling brush here, the Sterling 2-band synthetic, which is extremely good for the money, I do believe. I've been using it a lot, like my RzR Big Bruce and my Envy Shave 8 Ball. Really like this brushes, and my Wolf Whiskers, what I call Melania, but it has a black wolf knot. 3 of my favorite brushes. For the money, this is just outstanding. And you know, when you watch my channel, I'm not going to lead you down the path of just spending a bunch of money for the sake of spending it. There was a time when I was an enabler for that sort of activity. That time has passed, and it really passes for most people. I think over time, and sometimes it takes years, you realize that, you know, everything's pretty doggone good, and so you don't necessarily need to buy every soap that is released, and you don't necessarily need to be susceptible to every claim of the latest and greatest formula coming down the pike that, oh my God, this formula is so much greater than the last. Sometimes it is, but oftentimes it's marginally better at best, incrementally better, I like to say, at best. So you don't really have to fall victim to that if you don't want to. However, if you have that sort of discretionary income where you're a collector and you just want to try everything, by all means, please do so. But most of the folks watching my channel these days are value-minded, and they're looking to get the best bang for their buck. So for you folks, I say there's not a compelling reason to do so, generally speaking. I have done so, and I think there have been some artisans that made some pretty doggone improvements, but the claims of it being, you know, many times better, I just don't think that's a factual claim. And usually the artisans don't make that claim. It's the, you know, fans of the brand. Oh my goodness, this latest formula is the greatest of all time, but they also said the first 2 or 3 formulas were the greatest of all time. So, you know, take it for what it's worth, take it with a grain of salt. You'll notice tendencies of both folks that do YouTube reviews and written reviews. They tend to like certain things, and they tend to exist in certain social media areas of social media, like some are Reddit. The folks on Reddit tend to favor Barrister Man, Mickey Lee, and some of those brands, Chiseled Face, and so on. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Then there's Facebook, and Facebook has other types of fans. It might be, you know, Katie's Bubbles, or even PAA, or, you know. So there tends to be sort of different feelings based on which area of social media you're in more than the other. And my advice is just to try it and see how you feel about it and judge it on that basis. Make your own decision. That's my best advice. All right, excellent second pass. By the way, we will announce, well, let's do it right now. There's no need to hold off. The winner of the Ginger's Garden Hell or High Water and Shave Revolution open comb razor is David Kolar. David Kolar, do your name. So shoot me an email, cdb@imcdb.com, and I will get this out to you next week. Thanks for watching, David. Let us continue on with the shave. I'll go ahead and wet my face here a little bit. You don't really have to get all the lather off between passes. You really just want to knock that debris off and make sure you're adding some moisture, and we will do that and continue on with our wonderful Soap Commander soap. I believe this, I don't know if this has menthol or not. It definitely, I'm feeling some cooling, but it could be the mint. Sometimes mint has that effect. But anyway, back to what I was saying before. Or I don't think I was saying it before, but Soap Commander is not one to really hold you over the barrel for V2, V3, V4, V5 formulas. They've settled in on a product that people like and they go with it. And I find that this formula of their soap is just as good as the majority of other soaps. And the other soaps are on version 5. And they have this, you know, oh, I don't know, the such and such base is the greatest base in the history of soap. Oh, come on. I mean, sure, it's good, but in times past when some of those claims came out, I used the old soap of that brand and the new one, and they were both great. So that's sort of where we are, and that's why it's really important for you to try this stuff. And what I advise you to do, to the degree possible, is once you've settled in and made up your mind that you're going to buy something, try to avoid some of the reviews. If you've already made up your mind, use it and then go look at the reviews and see if those reviews match your feelings. Because what happens is sometimes, and it can't be helped, when you read reviews and you've already bought, first of all, you've bought it, so you want to like it naturally. And then if you read reviews that claim it's the greatest, and oftentimes it's indeed great, you get preconceived notions. So I say, read what you can to figure out whether you're going to buy it. But once you do, let it go. Try it for yourself without having, in mind those reviews, and see what you think yourself. Make your own decision. And if you find that your opinion aligns with reviews, that's great. If you find it doesn't, that's great too. I also recommend that you do some testing of your own. If you have some of these old formulas, put them, use a separate brush on the left side of your face with that old formula. Put the new formula with a separate brush on the right side of your face and see if you really can discern a difference. And I'm here to tell you, oftentimes you will not. So just keep that in mind. Things, have to be changed up. There is money on the line, so always understand that. And, when people say doing your homework, a lot of times they think it means, get a little moisture here. That often, let's just use that and do a cleanup, why not? Anyway, when they say do your homework, they think it means going out and, reading other people's reviews and so on. To me, doing your homework means testing it for yourself. Yes, taking that information from other people, but really try to come to your own conclusion and see where you find your thoughts align with others. I think that early on, I think I fell victim to, looking and reading what other people thought, and then naturally you tend to gravitate towards their opinion. And I'll tell you freely and honestly, I am certain that happened to me. So, and as I always say, the difference between me and others is I'll tell you flat out when I've made mistakes, and that is one that I've made, is falling victim to the fandom and the mania around products and reading too much and really letting that influence me early on. Not so much the last couple of years, but prior to that, I think for sure. And there's no reason not to be honest about it. That's just the way it was. And so it is what it is. All right. Excellent shave. Let me rinse the face. We'll come back to the post. Stay tuned. All right, and here we are back with the magic made by witches. There's Witch Hazel, which is great stuff. That was a beautiful shave, folks. Very, very nice indeed. We'll let that set for just a moment before we apply our aftershave. Soap Commander Vision. Very, very nice if you like aqua, amber, and mint. Excellent soap. This was the first scent that they ever sent out to testers, and it remains very, very strong. That would have been, I don't know, 4 years ago, 3.5, 4. I'm not sure exactly, but these people can be trusted, folks. Let me tell you, they make a quality product, and their consistency is just phenomenal. They are the most consistent soap maker, in my view, out of all the artisans. They do things the same way all the time. You get the same quality of product all the time. Very, very good. The Gillette Open Comb did an excellent job. If you can find one of these and you're into vintage razors, it is worth picking up if you can find a decent price on it. Again, thank you, Don. And we have the Sub Commander Balm here, but I'm going to slap on a little Italian Barber Aquatico, which is aqua aftershave on the face, and then we'll throw a little balm on for good measure since I have it out. Oh, and that smells beautiful. Again, I contend for me, these inexpensive, I don't call them cheap, inexpensive aftershaves offer everything that the expensive ones do by and large. And I'll continue to say it. I don't care who likes it and who doesn't. It is what it is. Make up your own mind. But for me, these things hit the spot, and that's a beautiful scent. And they hang around too, which I really like. Okay, now we will get to the balm, which I rarely use. This does have menthol in it. That's what it looks like. And it doesn't, it's not greasy on your face, which is why I personally like it. And just like that, we've had a phenomenal shave with our Sub Commander products. Excuse me. I want to thank everybody for watching. There'll be no giveaway this coming week because I'll be busy for the holiday season. But after the first of the year, I will resume giving away and giving back. And I thank everybody for watching. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB. You're not.